Hi there, my name is Zephania Mwando. I currently have been working with Dahua Technology to provide support, to provide technical solutions to customers. I have a background in communication and computer networks, and with that background, I've learned to solve so many issues, troubleshooting technology, troubleshooting networks, and all that. So working with the manufacturer, I've been able to pick different requirements, learn different solutions, and make sure that I can elevate my current space and become maybe better than I was. I started my professional experience in roughly 2019 while an intern. No quite profession per se, but ready to learn, so energetic to pick anything that will come from the industry, so that I make sure that I improve my capacity, because that was the objective when you come from school. So working with that, I've grown my career, I've learned more, and I believe that 5 years ago versus now, the capacity has quite changed, has quite improved. And the objective was, I want to get a better life, I want to improve my environment, I want to make sure I get more connections. In 2020, I was working somewhere after finishing the internship. Of course, finishing the internship, you get to maybe explore the market. What else can I do? You also have an option to stay there and learn more. So I worked that. I learned how to interact with different players in the market, how to interact with very many professionals, very many end users and such. So working that over the period of time, I came to learn that the market has a need. It's just you to identify what do they need and what can you offer to solve their problems. After my first job, I ventured into slightly something different, because I come from a background of computer networks, software. So the IT strength, the IT knowledge is quite extensive. In 2021, roughly around September, I switched from the IT purely software, purely product reviews, to a security-oriented product. That means working with a manufacturer, providing support, technical services to clients. So that is a quick preview of what went on maybe between transitioning from the previous employer, that was Open Business. But while transitioning through that, there's a lot that has been caught up. So today, my focus will be on my experience at Dahua, what I think your career would need to elevate to the next level, and that will maybe inspire someone, and also just clarify the rate at growth. And one highlight of the day is patience. You have to be patient for you to pick A, B, C, D. So that is the highlight that I would think of. Technical job description. You have to make sure you do training to customers. You make sure you do support to customers. You make sure that you understand the manufacturer's product, understand the market need, and make sure that this product actually works in that market. So that was the objective. Moving ahead, you realize that you are working with people who don't know that product, but you must make sure that they know it. So I got elevated into training as an add-on to everyone. So I could understand whatever the manufacturer is offering. Then from the manufacturer's offer, I elevate it and make sure that the end users, the system integrators, the installers, understand this product and they can consume it comfortably. That's the objective of the business. If the users can consume their product confidently, then it means they can also continue purchasing the product and using it. In one way, you're elevating and promoting the manufacturer's perspective or the manufacturer's objective. At the same time, in the local market, of course, in Kenya, we're improving technology. We're using technology to do new solutions and new products. So with that, we also look at now understanding the product. And one key perspective is when you're working with a manufacturer, you're working with something maybe probably it's even in a different language, it's even from a different market standard, and make sure it matches here. So for that to work, you have to learn the product, you have to break down every part of it and make sure that you understand it, because even to do training, you cannot train unless you know the product. So that was the scope. So I would like to highlight that one thing is we talked about patience as a key highlight. So when I mention patience, I talk about being ready to do anything professionally that would elevate your ability. You sit down, if you need to spend 12 hours, you need to spend 8 hours just to understand products, understand the solution, then present it to the user. So that has been what I've been doing to improve the capacity. So if you are looking to grow your capacity over time, you must make sure that you are ready to learn and you pick every step by step. So no need to rush, just take your time to understand whatever you're looking for, and then now analyze, creatively see how it can solve a problem. So that was the quick overview of how I come to this space and how I make sure that I can match my customer's requirement, match my end user's requirement, and also working with the team to make sure that we still meet the objective. In the same space, we look at my growth in the company. So as everyone knows, I've been working in Dahua for the last 4 years, September 2021 until now. So we've picked a lot, I've learned a lot, and I can for sure confirm that there's been capacity growth. If I look back 4 years ago, I believe there's been a lot of change, a lot of growth. And one thing that I'll still insist on is the patience part. But patience, while you elevate whatever you're doing, are you objective? Are you focused? So that has been the previous perspective. So highlighting the technical space, I would just like to mention how, because I come from an IT and computer network based, but then you need to know how to troubleshoot, you need to know how to fix the customer's challenge, you need to understand the customer, whatever they are presenting, and then you give them a solution that matches that presentation or that challenge they are facing. So one key requirement is to be a good listener. You listen to the customers, you listen to what are they saying, what would they want as their solution. So that's what I've been good at, understanding the customer and making sure that once you understand them, you can give them a solution that actually matches. Like a customer is stuck, I cannot do this. First understand why can't they do that? Is it typical? If it's not, then what can I do to actually fix that? Or what can I advise? Because you'll realize you're not working with one customer a day. You're working with so many customers, and everyone, once you help one customer, the next customer will call you, the other customer will call you. So they will keep referring, giving referrals over time, because just call Zeph. Zeph has done this and this and this, and that's how you ensure that your database of customers, your database of prospectives grows. You support them and make sure it's working for them. So, and as an emphasis on the technical capacity growth, mainly it's been through learning, through practice, and thanks to Dahua, I've been able to get so many equipment. Even what is not in the market, we've been receiving that and testing it. So by the time the customer wants maybe a solution you're offering, already you're in a position to sustain it, you're in a position to respond to it. So that is to highlight maybe an introduction on the technical space. But then let's talk about my career growth while in Dahua. So I joined Dahua as an assistant solution engineer. Because of the continuous growth, continuous development, thanks to the management team, thanks to everyone who played a role into that, I got elevated from assistant solution engineer to actually solution engineer. Later on, that role keeps enhancing. You're just focused on the solution, but then you switch again, assistant pre-sale engineer. That means now beyond the solution capacity, like you need to do this solution, now you start to interact with customers, listen to their requirements, and give some solutions based on the previous solution experience. Then again, over time, you realize as you do that, someone is watching, or everyone is watching. Whoever is interacting with you is watching. Again, I get elevated to now the pre-sale engineer. Of course, in the technical team, we have a team of several members, and you realize out of that team, you end up being their leader because maybe you've been there longer and you've been doing, maybe you're able to respond to customers' requirements, and someone watching also acknowledges that you're doing that. Then over time again, this year I elevated to solution manager, which means now I'm managing this project team to provide solutions. So now you're not just looking at my job giving customer solutions, doing this and that for the customer. Now you're also looking at what does my team need, what does my team want for me to solve for them, for me to make sure that they can also improve the capacity, because working with a team, number one, productivity goes real high. So when you look at that concept that I'm working with a team and I'm also their manager, everyone now starts coming to you. Can we do this? Previously, I'm used to going to the manager to ask him, what can we do here? Now it's turned around. Everyone is coming to me. What can we do? This customer has this problem. How can we solve? Now you end up now making key decisions that will make sure that the customer is maintained, the customer is actually enhanced. Just to highlight again on the same, working with these customers, you realize a team is made up of members with different capacities. One can do better field work, one can do better office and solution work. So you need to make sure that you can coordinate that team. Whoever is doing the office work does not mess up what whoever is in the field will experience. So working that, we precisely review the manufacturer's product, highlight to system integrators, do trainings, review with the customers, and make sure that the end user is satisfied, the product is working. If any problems, you have to make the decisions regardless of the time. So that calls in for longer working hours, longer commitment to the job, because you have to spend in a lot of time. So just to mention, I've talked about the partners, I've talked about the team. Now I need to focus on the partners because they're actually the enablers of any elevation. It's them who will give positive feedback. We like this product. We want to use this product in the next future business, future solutions. And that is how I would like to appreciate every partner that I've worked with while at Dahua. And in that same scope, think about it. We've worked with partners who focus on banking business, worked with partners who focus on government business, airport business, transport, retail, education, so many spaces. You realize we've picked solutions here and there, and we give them solutions and make sure the solutions are working for these partners. And when that happens, we end up having to understand that we are working with different users, different requirements. But I would like to highlight again, thanks to the users, I learned how to handle pressure. Because for every user's requirement, you have to respond to it urgently. So you can imagine a manufacturer who has more than 500 customers trying to get solution within a week, several customers trying to get a solution within a week. So you need to know how to manage the customer and make sure that you meet the expectations. So the pressure is definitely going to be intense, simply because you have to fulfill and make sure that at least the priority customers are resolved, the urgent cases are actually resolved. So that means putting in more work, putting in more hours. If you have a team, maybe expand the team so that it can match. But now we have a limitation. You cannot just expand a team because there's rules on that. So you have to work with the team, do better strategies, interact with the customers. But thanks to the business development managers that we've worked with, maybe I'll make a call out later on the business development managers, but they actually help to control the client's expectations from the technical side. For instance, there's a policy by the company that if we get a request from the customer, you need to fulfill it within 3 days. The customer's pressure is, I sent you today morning, I expect it today evening. So you still have to work within the constraints and make sure the customer actually picks the solution you're giving and make sure that whatever the solution the customer wants, they can get and it's working. You can have delays. Anyone can understand when you're dealing with shipping from overseas market from maybe other countries. You would have so many challenges starting with the logistics. We have customs, we have local logistics, all that. So we still have to coordinate all that and make sure that the product is delivered to the customers. But again, you're working with the manufacturer. The manufacturer has distributors, so at least it makes the coordination work much easier. The manufacturer also works with system integrators who will do projects for them. So while you do that, you make sure that these projects are actually meeting the end users' capacity expectations. Let me talk about training. When you're doing training, you have to understand your audience. And just flashback, I'd moved forward, but I need to flash back into 2019, that period up to 2021, the early months. In between there was COVID, in between there was a lot of up and down, trying to get maybe a stable job, trying to get higher paying job and such things. But now let's talk about training. I am not a very outgoing person. I'm not an extrovert per se. But if you come to think of it, I've built confidence in delivering whatever I'm showing to the clients. And how that happened is I worked with one company called Open Business. And in Open Business, we had training programs. We even got certified for Google training. I became a certified Google trainer for digital skills. So that again put me on a spot. I have to do training every day. You have to do training every week. You have to deliver to different numbers. Today it's 10 people. Next week is 100 people. Another time maybe 1,000 people. So when you do that regularly, you end up in a position where you have to appreciate that I have been training people and I can speak confidently to the users. But believe me or not, you cannot do training if you don't have the content. So I would still like to appreciate that I had access to materials, I had access to information, thanks to the education background, thanks to the players who I've worked with. They make sure that they advise you, you need to do this. If you are doing presentation and feel a little shy, you end up not delivering the content, because as a trainer, you need to instill and make sure that there is confidence in your trainees. They actually know you know what you're talking about. Then you end up in another position where, yes, you know what you're talking about, but the trainers or the trainees actually insist that you need to actually answer some questions. You need to deliver content or whatever that you are training on in a certain perspective. Then comes the questions. So some trainees would ask you a question and you don't know how to respond to it. So that you take back as feedback that I need to learn this, I need to solve this, so that the next time it comes up, I can actually respond to it. But again, answering these questions is more or less understanding the user's perspective. They're asking, what can I do about X if Y is not doing maybe as expected? So you just need to think in depth, what are they saying? Then you can also just closely interrogate them, maybe try to get some extra information. What are they expecting and such? Then once that is done, you project an output that, yeah, this is the response to your question and this is how you can improve. And then don't close your answers. You make sure that they are actually suggestive. you're supposed to do this, try that. So that is how I end up elevating my training ability and training skills. But in addition to that, we also have research on improving the technical ability, improving the knowledge. So because I mentioned learning is a continuous process. Even today, I can mention what I learned, maybe what I didn't know. Every day you learn +1, +1, +1. If you do it for 365 days or 366 days, you have plus 366 of your previous capacity. So that is how you analyze, like, just keep learning, keep picking something from that. If you think about it, the more you learn, the more you interact with different players, that is professionals, the more you interact with customers, the more you interact with different contacts who want products, who want solutions. That is how you expand your capacity. Just make sure that every day you do +1, +1, +1. One customer, one solution, one maybe achievement. Like, you have to make sure that you can track your milestones. Yesterday, I didn't know that specific car could not maybe brake as fast as it could accelerate. Today, learn what is the reason to that. What could be done to improve that? So that is on the capacity growth, which brings me to another point that I would think of. Maybe we need to think about how we can coach the future generation, how we can actually mentor them to elevate to the next level. So I'm thinking maybe the perspective is talk about becoming a coach. Let's invite professionals. Let's sit down with professionals. Let's understand also what is their story. How can they actually mentor someone? How can they inspire someone so that the next time you're maybe in a profession, you are doing something, you don't feel like you're dead. So I believe we are going to have that moving forward, because we want to make sure that I can mentor someone, and I will speak about that level of mentorship. Maybe let me highlight about the mentorship I have done. Since I am a professional in the security industry, technical security solutions, business development, and such in that space, I believe that how I can mentor you, or how I could mentor someone, is not to give them everything they will need to elevate. I just need to give them pointers. You want to learn? Work with a professional. You want to learn? Go to an institution that does training. So working with that, I think we can elevate someone. So maybe to mention in future, we're going to have something to do with professionalism and how to elevate someone, how to elevate in the future. That's what I'm thinking, how I can actually impact someone in the society, impact the technical aspect of someone, and also for someone who is looking for maybe how to improve their current capacity. Maybe you'll pick one or two things, or you'll pick everything, and then the next time we have more professionals, we are solving more problems. So the objective is we want to elevate and solve some problem. Just to reflect on it, the career growth. I believe I was here 4 years ago, and right now I'm here, but I still want to get here. So that means you also have to shift. You have to think about what next. So this is just a quick highlight that I want to make sure that whatever I've been doing, I can still do it, but from a different level. So we are venturing into business, we are venturing into solutions, venturing into products, but directly dealing with the end users. Maybe that is the next step, because I would just like to mention that right now, after 4 years since I've grown from here to here, I believe that if I move out of the same space but doing the same things, I'll expand my capacity. I've been working with one manufacturer, focused on solving everything that manufacturer offers. Moving forward, I'll be looking at trying something else, and we'll work the journey together so that I end up somewhere. I'll also keep you updated. I venture into business, I keep you updated. The objective is we want to see how the career has grown over time, and if there are any challenges, I would mention. Of course, we've always had, you cannot lack challenges. You will always have challenges here and there, but then why don't we turn the challenges into maybe a chance to step, like we make the challenge a step, you step on it, go to the next level. So that is what I'm thinking. So that is my quick or short or precise introduction and review of my career reflection, maybe for the last 4 years. Moving forward, we are going to continue doing more. We're going to continue shooting more information to make sure that we can inspire someone to make sure that they can also elevate.